Howdy y'all, Tyler Rogan with Power Wash Academy. Thanks for joining us again. Today we are in Fort Worth, Texas. We are about to do some algae remediation on a few different spots of this home. It's made of stucco and we've got some cast stone and we got a couple other kinds of stone up on the front porch that are getting pretty nasty and black. So we're gonna be doing some soft washing, a little bit of surface cleaning. Either way, I think we're gonna be getting a great result out of it. So let's go up on the front porch, take a look at what we're up against and see what kind of results we can get for them. So this north facing side of the home is probably, or it is definitely the worst part. It has a lot of shade, doesn't really get dried off quite as early as the rest of the house during the day. But as you can see, all of this area is turned pretty black. The areas that are covered are not nearly as bad. They're not exposed to quite as much moisture as the rest of it would be. So these are not as dirty and they're quite a bit smoother. However, this area here, whether it was sealed or not, I can't say, but it is starting to break down the stone because of the fact that ice freezes on here and it's starting to break down the surface. And so we're seeing a lot of inconsistencies in the surface. It's getting pretty rough, holds a lot more moisture and just makes the problem that much worse. So we're gonna come through and surface clean all of this off first, get a majority of it out, then we're gonna soft wash it and try to get it to blend in with the rest. I think that we should get a good result as far as color goes. I'm just hoping that the texture itself is gonna blend in enough to where there's not quite as noticeable difference between the covered areas and this area that's out here in the open. We've got quite a bit of cast stone, as I mentioned. This typically does clean up pretty well. We're gonna take the same process with this. Come through first, you rinse it off with a little bit of pressure, and then we'll put our soft wash mix on there and get this to start changing colors for us. We've got a couple damages to the stucco around the home, which the homeowner pointed out to me. So we're gonna be careful around those areas that are already cracked and chipping. They're gonna get it repaired, but like I say, I don't wanna make it any worse than it already was. We've got some areas around here, and we've got a ton of growth going on in these steps. I'm really looking forward to seeing this front porch after we're done because it is nasty. But I have a good feeling it's gonna look awesome when we're done. We can walk around in the back, take a look at this pool area. It's pretty nice back here. They've got a lot of projects going at the moment. We just showed up as the landscapers are leaving, so that's beneficial for us. We've got less plants that we're gonna need to be concerned with keeping soaked. We've got these bushes with the hard waxy leaves. We still rinse them off, but we don't need to be quite as cautious with them. The real test is gonna be on some of this cast area up here. It is really black and really dirty, but as I rub my hand across here, it kind of gives me an idea of what to expect. How much of it's embedded, how much of it's actually on the surface. So I rub my hand here and I've got a lot of this actually breaking off of the surface. So although it's really black, most of it's on the surface and it comes off very easily. So, you know, the real question is how far down is that staining gonna go in? And I'm thinking that a strong batch, most of the time we're able to get that completely out. There have been a few times where the staining is so old and so deep that we just can't totally remove the shadow. We'll be able to change its color, but sometimes you can still tell where that was originally. But that being said, jump to later in the video and we'll see how awesome it looks. We'll find out, right? So we've got a pretty sizable pool deck. We're gonna treat it the same way as the front, surface clean, come through with the soft wash afterwards. So that's pretty much the work that we've got cut out for us today. We had to start a little bit later today because the temperatures were below 50 degrees until about noon today. So I'll walk over to the truck, show you the equipment that we're running. Finally got my new tank on for the sodium hypochlorite so we can keep our chemicals separated from the water. And now we have a proportioning system, the Sidewinder from Powerwash.com, and it's been doing a great job for us of letting us dial in specifically what we want our mix ratios to be. So our new tank here holds 100 gallons of sodium hypochlorite. Actually, it's 110 gallons with a little window here so we can tell if we're running low. We keep 12.5% in there so that we can go really strong on our mix if we ever need to. New Sidewinder system. It's been working great, like I said. And so that is quite a time saver and a space saver also, since I'm not keeping these extra tanks on the truck. you know, one big one for bleach and then our batch tank like we used to use. It wasn't really all that efficient for maximizing our usage of the space. There we've got 15 gallons of Apple Blast in this small section that goes right here. A little goes a long way with this stuff, and that surfactant tank that I have on there is probably overkill because it takes forever to go through 15 to 20 gallons of that stuff, but I'm never without, so that's good. Then the rest of the tank is baffled. It's 325 gallons for fresh water supply. And it does a good job. It's big enough for us to run on commercial jobs and keep up for quite a while. Being that it's an 8 gallon a minute machine, it does use more water than some of the other machines we've used in the past, but I've found that this 325 tank is pretty good at getting it done for what we need to. And we've got those equipped with the Hannay electric reels all the way around. They're quite a time saver, and at the end of a long night's work, it makes all the difference in the world to be able to press a button and reel up your hoses versus cranking 3 hoses back into place. And so, especially being that we typically keep 200 to 300 feet of line on there. So the Hannay reels are an excellent purchase. We've been really happy with them. The guys love them, and so that's the route we've taken with those. We've got one other truck back here which we're running a pressure washer off of. We've got another Delux unit. That one's a 5.5 gallon a minute machine, but we'll be running both of those simultaneously for surface cleaning and also rinsing areas that we don't want our house wash mix to get on. So for our soft wash unit, the type of gun that we like to use, this is the RB65. It's a spray down gun. It gives me the capability of shooting a long stream, or I can make a cone of varying degrees. And so this thing's been great. They make a couple versions of this one. The red one does have Viton seals in it and is gonna do a little bit better with holding itself up whenever we've got a lot of chemicals running through there. We always flush out our machines and our guns after we're done, but it's supposed to make a difference if you get the red one as far as keeping it in service longer without anything breaking on you. So we are going to be running surface cleaners today. This particular one is a Hammerhead made by General Pump. This is a floating style surface cleaner. Doesn't have any wheels or casters on it, and it's a lighter weight plastic body for the housing, and it does a great job. It's a little more compact than the ones that have casters, so it allows this tech to keep it on his truck with minimal space consumption. But those are good units, and we'll be using those for both of our units that are running in the backyard today during the surface cleaning. But it's a good product from General Pump. Mid-range on the price, and the quality is up there as far as the life that you can expect out of them. I've been pretty happy with those. I think we're ready. We got our tanks filled. Chemicals are mixed up into our secondary sprayers. I want to fire these machines up and get some stuff clean. So let's do just that. And we're getting a good color change as he's passing along with the surface cleaner. You can see this water that's running off is pretty milky. That just comes from the stone being really soft, and you know, little tiny bits of that breaking away. But it's not causing any streaks in the surface cleaner itself, and so I don't think it's really much to worry about. There'd be no way to really tell that any of that is breaking free because of the texture of the stone itself. That nice rough look to it makes it a little easier on us, and will definitely help us avoid any streaking from running the surface cleaner over it.
We're taping out all these outlets, yeah, because even though they have protection, you want to add a little bit more protection to it, just in case. No water coming in. Make sure, double check, so nothing goes wrong.
I'm gonna go around here and do a couple test spots with our mix, sodium hypochlorite, and see how well some of these stains come up before we wash them. We're still gonna wash everything, but I'd like to know if some of the stains are gonna come out and how easily they're gonna do so. So this area hasn't been surface cleaned. I'd like to just see, sometimes this stone reacts really quickly, cleans up super easily, and if that's the case, that would make my day so much better. Let that set for a couple minutes, feeling good about it. Yeah, I can see a lot of this is changing color, but the surface cleaner is taking a lot of it off, so that doesn't necessarily mean that I just wanna soak this and leave it. We'll still surface clean, and then the spots that are darker, go ahead and put a splash of this nice strong mix. I've got about 6% mix in this sprayer right now, so that's a pretty hot batch. and should definitely do the trick for what we're up against on this particular job. Good results, coming up quick. It's only been on there for less than a minute and it's already all the way I want it to be. Oh yeah. One thing I like to do as a precautionary measure before we soft wash a house is houses with a lot of plants and bushes and things that are around. A plant is a bush, but when we've got a lot of that, I like to see if they would consider having all the shrubs and all the plants completely removed, so that way we've got a clean surface or a clean area to work in and we don't have to worry about protecting the plants. So this customer sprung for it. We pulled all the flower beds, no plants around anywhere. We just totally removed it all. All right, so this cast stone's pretty dark. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little pre-treatment on it before we come through and wash. And I'm hoping that that will loosen it up a little bit more. It seems to be cleaning up relatively easy, but I'm trying to speed it up a little bit more. So I'm coming through, soaking her down, and then somebody else will come back through here with a wand or a surface cleaner in a few minutes and wash off everything that is left behind. We got a pretty good result on the area in the backyard. It looks to be the same material as what we're working with here, so I am expecting a good result. So the guys are pulling their hoses around from the back. We're gonna kind of reorganize and keep our hoses in our own area. And so they're gonna be getting ready to run a surface cleaner on this upper deck. Irvin's touching up in the back, washing off a few steps that lead back into the backyard. So he'll be back up here with us again here in a second. Danny's gonna be running his surface cleaner at about, I would say probably about 3,000 PSI, and we'll have the heat on and run it at a pretty low temperature, probably around 130 or so. Just enough to make it a little bit warmer in case this stone is still a little cool from last night. And so, as you know, a little bit warmer conditions are better for the sodium hypochlorite to be active. It's my understanding that we want to get it above 50 degrees to apply this stuff and expect to get any good results. And so anything less than that, you're going to spray it on and it's not going to do much. So all this area that was black is starting to turn brown now, which is a good sign. That's what I was hoping it would do. And it's only been on there for a minute or less, so that's a good sign. I think we'll get a good result out of all of that. We can get that area above the door, so that should rinse off pretty easily. And I'm thinking I can get all of that from down here without even getting on a ladder. Good.
Trying to get this top layer cleaned up so when he gets to the green mode, what's the SH, it'll pick it right up easier than trying to get the wand. I like using hot water because it picks it up, but I gotta watch out because it might mess up the material or whatever I'm working with. So right now I'm just waiting to see what the SH is gonna be doing right here before I start wanding.
Okay, we got it done. The backyard's looking great. All of the stone and whatever this patio is made of is cleaned up, and no more algae, no more black, so that's good. I'm satisfied with the back. We can go around to the front and see where the other half of our work was, see what kind of results we produced. Okay, so here's the front porch. It looks so much better. There were some spots on the stone that have already got damages to them, so they didn't come out totally blended in with the rest of them, but it is so much better. I would say about an 8 out of 10 for what I would like it to turn out to be. So That's what we've got done here. I think we should have a satisfied customer. Got some awesome before and after pictures coming up at the end of this video. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell button, drop us a comment down below. We'll see you on the next one.